Welcome to Two Shy Girls Podcast. I'm Simone.
And I'm Anne.
And today we're going to just start briefly about the uh, hearing. Also, I want to say that we're recording a little different, so if there's a sound barrier or something cuts out, we apologize for the technical difficulties. We are just unable to be together at the moment. So, yeah, take it away, Anne.
Okay, so that hearing. Apparently our friend Amy doesn't know that the right to protest is a right. I don't know if you heard the question that they asked her. They said to name the 5 rights, and she named 4 of them, of course. But the one that she could not name was the right to protest. And I don't know. In this current climate, with all that's happening, I would think that as a judge, like, that should be like one of the most important ones that she should know.
Right, but the right to protest is only the right to protest white things, right? So,
Right.
of course, we can protest abortion. That's fine. We can protest the mask mandate. That's fine. But, not being killed. You would think that they'd be like, oh, we don't want babies to die, so we don't want regular humans to die. But, no, they're not like that. They're also like SIDS, and I get on my rant about SIDS all the time, but just in general. But I mean, I think it's kind of a real shame. She also said they asked her about a specific ruling where she said the N-word did not constitute a hostile work environment. That is problematic because I think in any use of the word is going to create a hostile work environment.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's just common sense, it's decency, and I don't know, her responses are even, especially with that case, because I just learned about that today. I'm even more concerned than I was with the previous hearing for what's his name,
Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah, I'm just and that's also just something that, I don't know, just needs to be addressed within the feminist movement itself. I think the conservatives side of the really Trump side were just like, well, you wanted a woman Supreme Court justice, so here you go. And I'm just that's just kind of an example of just like white feminism at its finest.
Peak. At its peak. I mean, and just to be so, I don't. Yeah. I think they really were like, you wanted a female justice, so this is what you get. But I also don't think that I think that she will make the court.
Oh, she definitely is going to make the court. I mean, trying to go back over every single because we obviously had frequent hearings so far. Yeah, there's just no way that she's not going to
right.
make it.
I mean, and it's really disappointing just because I don't like her, and I think most of America doesn't like her. I mean, and I don't understand how she is pretty blatant about her feelings that women are subservient to men, but bitch, you on the Supreme Court, you're trying to get on the Supreme Court. How did that logic cross her brain?
Yeah, she's an originalist. I read someone posted. They're just I always want to ask her especially if if she's an originalist, that if you truly believe that in originalism, that means you're not voting, right? Her response should be no.
Right, she's going to abdicate all of her voting power, her money making ability. Like, she should be at home with her 7 children. Um, I think she has 6 children. Maybe she has 7.
God.
That's a lot of children. But anyway, she should not. If she's an originalist, she should be at home with the kids.
Hmm.
I mean, and there's some of them are still young. Like, she's really stepping out. I mean, she's young, but like as far as Supreme Court justices go, um,
Unfortunately.
yeah, that is pretty unfortunate. But
That's why we need term limits.
uh, uh, listen, the term limits thing. Like, I understand why we need them, but I also understand why they are not there. Because I feel like if Brett Kavanaugh has sided on some things that I thought were the right decision. I mean, many were wrong, but some things that were the right decision. But he wouldn't have made those decisions that way if he had to be reelected or reappointed by the new person, right? Like, he would have, because now that he's there for life, he can kind of do whatever he wants, um, knowing that his decisions won't affect whether or not he's on the court. Um, which is problematic in and of itself, but also at the same time, it allows the judges to be free to like change their thinking. So like if they suddenly decide that republicanism is horrible and they want to move towards the liberal side, they can do that without feeling like they're not going to be removed from the court. Um, but
I guess my thing as far as why I strongly believe it in term limits, particularly in this situation right now, is I just, um, especially if our friend Amy gets in, I have strong feelings that at that point, not that it was really representing before, but it really definitely won't represent um, what people, what should be the right thing right now, what people need. I just don't think. I think with the direction that it's headed, if it's truly going to be like if we're stuck with this for life thing, who's on there right now just does not reflect the interest and the needs of the people. That's what I mean, that's as far as why I would consider term limits. But that's just my take.
well, my thing about like I get that the court doesn't adequately represent the people. It doesn't like 51% of the nation is female, so like why the 51% of our court? I think there definitely should be higher racial like ethnic minorities on the court, but I think that's less of a problem of term limits and more of a problem on how they're appointed. Because really, like the president has carte blanche to do whatever he wants and appoint whoever he wants. Um, and if there was maybe like a committee of people, so they try to get around this by saying, oh, there's the Judiciary Committee and they're going to oversee these hearings, if but like with them only being able to hear the people who are picked by the president is the sole person picking them. I mean, he might consult others, but for the most part, it's just him, and he can make whatever decision he wants. Um, unless there was if there was a committee to say we all have to agree on a pick, and so that way it's a bipartisan committee, and we all have to agree on this neutral person, um, and do it that way. That might be, but that might lead to nobody gets picked. So
I mean, I think like another thing that I'm her moments as far as so like right now, with um, it literally just came down. Say it almost ends up like it's chance. Like either someone's going to step down, unlikely, or we just have to wait for someone to, in the case of RBG, die. And it just sucks that we have to say that it's really unfortunate timing had to die when Trump was president, because now that means Trump. So I guess that's the only I don't know. It's just such a tricky situation.
I mean, but that goes to the point where people were saying that she should have stepped down during President Obama's reign, to so that somebody could be appointed, and then we wouldn't have been in this situation. Not to speak ill of the dead in any way, but um, I think this is the exact reason people were like, you should have stepped down. Um, I think people are still looking to that and with great regret that she didn't step down during President Obama. I mean, she was old then. Like,
yeah, well, that's what. Then that's where it comes down to. I want to, they do. I think we're just so used to like waiting for them to die, because like I mean, they do have that, and I think that's important to remember. They can step down. It's just unlikely that one would actually just. It's beginning to seem like it's unlikely that anyone would do that. I'd be curious. Maybe who on there would probably step down right now? I'm trying to think.
what if they had age maximums? Like, once you hit 80, you're too old for this.
But wouldn't that still get someone like Amy there?
Well,
Like,
yeah, she'd be there for a while, but that's like, we can't change the whole system. Like, we can try, but like, it. Look at who's on the court now. We're not going to be able to change the whole system. So, if you put in like an age limit, you'd be like, okay, well, you and you and you have 3 years left. So figure that out. And then then new people are getting on there, but then they're just gonna do them younger,
yeah,
and they'll just stay for longer. But I guess that you're assuming everybody lives till 80. They could also step down.
have to give them an incentive too. Give them like a big bonus. No, I don't think they did. I mean,
How much do Supreme Court justices get paid?
a lot, and that doesn't even include other things. Let's see.
I hear your cat.
Wow. Oh, they do get. I don't know how accurate this is. So they do get benefit higher at 70 with 10 years of service, or age 65 with 15 years of service. They become eligible entire ending salary each year for the rest of their life.
Okay, so what's the salary?
The Chief Justice earns 200, and that's not right. Is that 267,000 per year?
That seems about right.
Yeah.
I mean, because regular lawyers make that. Or some. I shouldn't say all. But
Generous vacation time and workload. There's actually a whole list you can find online of perks of being a Supreme Court justice, in case anyone is aiming for that.
Right, because I just have the luxury of choosing to be a Supreme Court justice.
Oh, and then of course, private earnings.
For what? Like lobbyists?
speaking. RBG probably made a ton off those documentaries on her.
Right.
Publications.
I mean, with all their free time, they sure as hell should write a book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, to be a Supreme Court justice.
I wish. Like, that's the dream of every law school student is to be a Supreme Court justice, but for 99.9% of us, it's not going to happen. But I would like to be a judge.
I'd vote for you. Can I do a write-in for judges?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there was I saw this story recently about, it was like the youngest judge, and she was a black woman. She was fresh out of law school, and she ran for judge, and she got it.
Wow, that's amazing. I wonder what her workload is. That'd be stressful.
I would love to skip the whole lawyer part. Just that would be so fun. I mean, you pay your dues, but skip the whole lawyer part. Just go straight into judge work.
Don't have to clerk. Yeah, that would be nice. But
I mean, you get an intern and a law clerk.
You get a basketball court, though, don't you, if you go to the Supreme Court? Don't they have a basketball court?
They have a basketball court above them, yes. It is the literal highest court in the land.
Wow. Okay, so vacations. Why did it pay the basketball courts, books? I don't know why I quit law school.
Because your chance of being a Supreme Court justice is very, very,
right.
very slim.
Right. Well, I'll be watching to see if this hearing's gonna go anywhere. Honestly.
Oh, did you see she had a fly too?
She had a fly as well. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, I'm sure. I hope it's the same flag, just bouncing.
It's a sign. It's gotta be. I mean, I don't normally get superstitious, but you can't tell me that happens twice.
Right. On 2 publicized events.
Oh my gosh. No, now I have to. Where was it, on her head?
No, it was on her, she's wearing pink. It was on her, her jacket.
Huh. Well, I guess I have to actually watch these in detail now. Oh, there is an article on Snopes. Did a fly land on Amy Coney? No. Fact check. Image showing fly. I like how those are top news stories for this thing.
Yeah, because we're doomed. It's a top news story because we have nothing better to go. We know she's gonna get into the court, and we're gonna be sad, and we're gonna be like, Roe versus Wade repealed, Obamacare repealed. It's gonna turn bad for us, real quick. And so we gotta make light while we can. I should get all of my medical work done before I get off my parents' insurance. Because I'm not going to be able to have insurance because of my pre-existing condition.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, the reality of it is scary, so you just gotta laugh while you can.
I'm going back to my question: can flies get COVID? Because maybe this is a COVID fly that landed on her.
A COVID fly? Come on, Anne. We don't wish COVID on people.
No, we don't. But
but Trump's son got COVID. Barron, that one.
Yeah, yes, he had. He tested positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Christie apparently had a whole turnaround about this. It was apparently a experience for him that has opened his eyes to masks.
Good. But we still got Mitch McConnell and his funny looking face.
I'm convinced 100% that Mitch McConnell is not alive in the sense that is normally considered alive, that he has actually become like a turtle where his body is just a shell for whatever.
And his soul has left long ago.
It's just some sort of mass form of flies of some sort of demon inside of him.
Cut it open, it's just flies. It's just like spiders release.
But nah, he's not. I don't think he's changing his opinion anytime soon on as far as COVID and healthcare goes. Chris Christie, I don't know. I'm happy that his eyes have been open, but at the same time, I hate hearing out of his mouth, "Oh, I should have worn a mask. I should have done this." Like, yeah, you should have, and you didn't. And you and your friends have potentially, not even like potentially, like, I mean, you endangered a lot of people. And I'm really getting sick and tired of being able for people to just say, like, "Oh, I should have done this. Oopsies."
Right, because shoulda, woulda, coulda, but, like, the fact of the matter is you didn't.
Right. And we're not talking about, like, a mistake, like, forgot to dot my I's and cross my T's. We're talking about, like, a deadly virus here. And we've known it's deadly since November, so, last November. So, there's no excuse there.
Have we known since last November?
I was following this in China back in November.
That's fair. That is really fair because people were following it back in China for a while. And they were like, hey, we should probably be worried about this. And everybody else was like, no.
And the typical.
And they were like, the conspiracy theorists. Even up until Trump made the announcement that it was a national emergency, people were like, conspiracy theory. I remember when the first one in Chicago happened, my friend texted me, she said, be careful, I don't want you to die. I know Chicago's a big city, but also it's a big city.
That's sweet concern. All at the same time, though, that is a serious concern. Apparently, our numbers are going back up too.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've been sick the past couple of days, and now while I feel much better, it's also an issue of like regular other illnesses are happening. So while we're like dealing with COVID, like I just believe I had the touch of the flu, which is just as bad. But I mean, but I'm better. So I asked doctors and they were like, yeah, you wouldn't be better if it was COVID. So whatever.
Right. This thing takes you out for
a couple weeks at least.
Even like the most mild forms, they say. I know someone who had it, and he was explaining how he did his 2 weeks, symptoms gone away, but it's not really gone away because then you have to deal with the exhaustion that comes with fighting it. That lasts for about a month. And
oh, is that your brother?
Yeah. I've heard other people talking about it too, though. A lot of times, like, it's kind of scary how we got to that point of where you like have to call your doctor and you make a judgment over the phone of whether or not you have it, because we can't exactly just go into a doctor's office and be like,
yeah. And so many doctor's offices don't do COVID testing, so it's like even if you think, hey, I should go to my doctor, your doctor's like, well, we don't do COVID testing here. Those are only at specialized locations. And then you got to think that like then you got to go somewhere else. And when you're in a place like Chicago, and you might be depending on public transit, it's better to stay in your house because you don't understand the amount of people that you can infect on the way
Right.
just to try to get a COVID test.
All the more reason that we should be taking this a little bit more seriously. I don't know, honestly, than we are right now. I'll be honest. You know this. The school where I am at, I will not say where, but we had a COVID case. If you were trying to look that up in the news, you won't find anything because I doubt the schools are actually going to be out in the open about that.
Did you put in your 2 weeks notice now that I'm asking?
I have not.
And we discussed.
We did.
And the place you are working is horrible and I would really like you to not.
I would really like me to not either.
Also, they're apparently not handling COVID cases correctly.
No, nobody is, and that's why I find it funny. I was reading how CPS is watching the other schools to see how they do with this, and I'm just like, okay, well, I hope you're personally talking to them, because if you're going to, again, and this goes for anybody, if you think you're going to be able to just Google which schools have had COVID cases so far, you're not going to get anything.
Well, yeah, and I've been talking to, I went to a town hall with my school, and they were talking a little bit about COVID, but they're having people report, they want people to report to them even if they have never been on campus. So, like, if you just got COVID, they just want to know which students are down and out. And they're not having you report to the administration. Like, you're going to a contact tracing team that the school has hired. So, I think they're handling it pretty well, and they're only sending out the ones that have been on campus, and mostly it's been not the downtown campus, but the other campus that they've been having to send out things for. But yeah, I mean, I think they're handling it pretty well. I mean, they shipped us all masks, which was really sweet, and they're like good masks.
Oh, not your other mask. not like the other one you got.
Well, yeah, I ordered some more from Amazon. Which I need to stop ordering stuff. I also ordered a fluffy blanket and some pants on Amazon Prime Day. Yeah, so I ordered the fluffy blanket because I decided that I was gonna do a boudoir photo shoot. Don't tell my parents, but I mean, it's just for me. It's just for me. I just want to do it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I was like, I need a fluffy blanket because I don't like, because I wanted to like lay on something that was like cute. But yeah, so that was with the fluffy blanket, and then I just wanted to buy some pants. Anyway, you missed out on Prime Day. It was a very fun day. I also bought a Christmas present for my cousin. But yeah, it's all good in the hood. Either way, I think my school is doing really well about contact tracing. They've notified students that were in close contact and teachers that have been in close contact. And my campus hasn't had very many problems. It's the undergrad campus that has had a lot of problems. So, but we ended up having to cancel an event because we couldn't get enough. It was supposed to be in person, but we couldn't get enough volunteers to sanitize all the equipment properly, and so they made us call it off, which is sad. I wasn't gonna go anyway because my back is dying, but I was planning it. I was helping plan it, and was like, we have to cancel, and I was like, oh, and so many people wanted to go.
Oh, so you had a lot of people that wanted to go.
We sent out a survey, and just to see who was interested in going, and we had over 100 responses, and over 75% of them were yes. So
wow.
And they were like, we'd love to, as long as it's safe social distancing and adequate hand sanitizer and Yeah. But we're trying to do something in person a little different that doesn't necessarily involve all of the hoopla. Um, I love being a part of student government. It's a worthwhile experience to be planning these things for students. Nobody comes to my office hours though.
If I was there still, I would come to your office hours.
I'm trying to get my mentee to come to my office hours. I'm like, girl, you want my help? Just like I already have it scheduled, but I think it conflicts with their schedule.
That's too bad.
I know. I love my mentee. She's so great. Like, we're actual friends. Not like she's my mentee, but we're actual friends.
I wish other grad schools did that. Have mentors for incoming students. I feel like, remembering when I was there last year for law school, having a mentor just took a lot of anxiety off of me.
Yeah. And of course, my little sister is also in law school. So I'm helping her as much as I can because I am not a terrific writer and her problem is also in writing. And so we're just struggling together. And also, the thing is that their writing classes don't tell them how to, like, what the issue is. Like, you know how ours always, like, this is what the issue is. Theirs don't. So, like, she had an issue and it was, like, a contract and they were, like, analyze whether or not they could bring a claim. And you would have had to know about third-party contracts in order to even develop a thing about third-party contract, like to develop the memorandum. But if you didn't know about third-party contracts, you couldn't have answered it. And they didn't tell you, hey, this is dealing with third-party contracts. Like, the reason our writing class did that was so that we didn't have to rely on substantive law that we were learning in class to be able to write, but they had to like learn it in their contract class, and then, which they hadn't talked about yet, and then write about it.
That's really, that's not fair.
Right.
This is, why can't college professors communicate with each other? Like, how hard would it be if someone had said, like, hey, what are they studying in contracts right now? Because I would like to give this as a writing assignment, but I don't want to do it unless you guys have covered or are close to covering this information.
I don't know. Oh, I see you got your bed lofted.
Yes, I do. My loft bed, by the way, for listeners, I have a studio, so I've had to adjust to studio life.
Listen, I had a studio and I did not loft my bed. I had a whole queen size. I was living large in my studio. Because I refuse to stay on a twin bed. I am the size. I am literally built like a twin bed. I'm not staying in one. So anyway, well, we should probably wrap this up. We've gotten way off topic.
That's always fun, though. That's the fun part.
Well, this has been the Two Shy Girl podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media, and it's YouTube at Two Shy Girls, Twitter at Two Shy Girls, and Facebook.com/Two Shy Girls. See you later.